Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jace here, and today I'm going to dive in a little bit into making a beat using free software, free app on your phone. I feel like music production is a huge world, and it's something I want to pursue, but looking into some of the more complicated softwares was kind of discouraging because it's, there's a huge price tag on it. You feel like you need to get these MIDI keyboards, you need all this setup just to get started. So I feel like using some of these free softwares, while they're limited, provide a way to create a solid base. For example, I tried to learn guitar when I was a kid, couldn't quite do it. Then I learned ukulele, which was easier, and then from that I was able to step up and learn guitar. And so I'm hoping that using these free softwares will help me to understand some of the more complicated and less limited softwares, and be able to step up to those and to make the beats that I really want to make and the sounds that I really want to make. The app that I will be using is called Pocket Band Pro. Like I said, it's a free app. It's fairly simple to get started with. Over here on the right, you see there is a song option. You can create a new song. Click on that, and then over here, top left corner, there's an option to create a new loop. That's the beginning to everything. That's simple. So once you create a new loop, click on it right there, and then you can choose a device. I feel like the most important ones at first are the synthesizer and the drums. So you can come in here, go into drums, click on that, and then as you can see, it's divided into 4 different sections. You can throw in a few bass drums, beats, and see how that works. And then a synthesizer, just to show you, you can add a device, go in there, go into your synthesizer, and there's plenty notes you can choose from, and so you can make a song just like that. But today I'm going to kind of go through a song I made already and kind of break it down how I was able to do that. So this song I just titled Jace's Song Draft 4 because I did 4 different drafts of it. As you can see, there's already a bunch of loops in place, and this make up the entire song. So I actually didn't even start with an intro here. I started kind of with the verse, and I started with the chord progression that I was familiar with. So if I just play that chord progression, this is actually an F chord, and I'm a big fan of reggae, so I kind of like that offbeat. So right here you can kind of tell there's how it's broken into 4. There's 1 and 2 and 3, and I kind of put them all on the end beats, so it gives it that reggae feel. But this is what that sounds like. So this is a Hammond organ. And then from there, I added some drums to it. Just a very simple beat. Put the snare on the 3rd count. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then I just kind of built around that. Very simple. And then I just kept building on that. Put on some extra piano right there, with a lot of reverb. So yeah, so that's that. Put on this ARP, which kind of just is that sound. Here, I'll just show you what it sounds like by itself. So it's kind of cool because it automates that, so you don't have to put in every single note. It kind of just goes through and does it for you. So if you know what chords you want to use, you can put them in there in the piano, and then it'll automate that for you. And then I put a bass right here. I just use some of the notes that work in that key, put them all together for the bass line. Here's what the bass line sounds like. There you go. Pretty simple bass line. Then all together it sounds a little bit like this. And so for the intro, I did a very similar thing, and then I did versions of the verse where I just kind of stripped it down to where it can build up. So I just, like, for example, I took out some of the drums, I took out some of the piano, and then for each time it went through, I added a little bit more and more. So I'll just kind of give you an idea of what that all sounds like. See, so it's pretty much the same thing, just without any drums. Then the drums kind of come in a little lighter. And then you get the full verse. You know, you got that reggae beat with it. And then that brings me into the chorus, which is actually pretty much the same thing, just has a little melody to that I added in there. That's not it. This is what that melody looks like right here. But as you can tell, it's pretty similar. I changed the bass line around a little bit, the drums around a little bit, but overall it's the same thing. And then from there, I created like a breakdown where I switched the melody around a little bit. Instead of just kind of continuing that it kind of, well, I'll just show you. I got that sound through adding tube distortion, reverb, delay, and that's you kind of just got to mess around with the settings a little bit till you get something that you like. Then from there, goes back right into the verse. And then after the plays a verse 2 more times, another chorus, another breakdown, and then after that same breakdown, I did another kind of drop type thing. This time I made it a lot different. I made the piano kind of start off a little chill, but I put on a lot of distortion, as you can tell. Right there's some tube distortion, reverb, and delay. That kind of gives it that harder, rougher sound, which I liked. You hear that damper? How it goes, kind of like, or it's like a filter, I guess, where it kind of starts out loud, and then it kind of almost sounds like the beat's going underwater. So the way I did that was, here on piano roll, you go to VCF cutoff, and then as that line's kind of going down, it dampens it a little more. So you kind of get that cool dampening sound. I put that on the intro as well, yeah, and then you got that build up. So I did that on the intro as well. I'll show you real quick. I kind of like how it almost sounds like it's going underwater and then coming back and builds, you kind of build up with that. And so with that breakdown, it's kind of cool because I have that big build up and then it goes into this very subtle violin that I like a lot. You'll see right here. And then the whole rest of the song is just based off of that violin right there, that melody. Kind of as the outro, and it just builds up. Throw on a trumpet to kind of help the build up be a little stronger. Yeah, so that's the song. That's the first song I ever made on using a free software. It took a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on it, but I feel like just playing with it, looking up tutorials, messing with sounds, different instruments. I feel like it didn't turn out quite that bad, and so I'm pretty proud of it, and I feel like now that I've explored some of the capabilities of these free softwares, I'm more prepared for diving into the more complicated softwares that cost money, and I'm actually more confident in spending that money. You don't want to just spend money for something you're not going to be able to use. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking into music production, making beats, try out the free softwares, mess around with them. I know some of the more complicated ones too have demos, have trial versions, and that's where I'm on right now. I actually just downloaded the demo version of FL Studio, so I'm gonna make a video on that. So if you'd like to see my progress with that, feel free to just subscribe, so you can see those videos. And thanks for watching. This song that's playing in the background, I also made it, so there's just quite a bit you can do with it. There's another song I made on here too, and this one I kind of based it off a melody. I was just plucking along on my guitar, and there's a melody that I like, so I was like, I'm gonna put that onto the beat making software, see what happens. I just used a tuner on my phone to tell me what the first note was, and then I went off of that, 98 BPM. I figured out that was what tempo I was playing it at, and so I was able to mimic that. I'll play it for you right now. Here it goes. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, feel free to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Good luck with your beat making endeavors.